One really cool thing about ESLint is that there's a fantastic community that has built great plugins for ESLint. And if you take a look at this awesome ESLint GitHub repo, you'll see that there is a listing of all kinds of different plugins that you can use depending on what type of JavaScript that you write every single day. So whether you're writing Angular or Backbone, or you need to specifically lint your Jasmine docs, and every time you write stuff that is for a different framework, you have a little bit of different style rules. And chances are that someone has already built some sort of linting plugin for that specific framework. Now, something that I use plugins for are I need to lint my JavaScript that is inside of script tags in HTML files, because that's often how I teach. It doesn't require extra JS files, and it doesn't require any tooling to get up and running. And second, I often will write JavaScript inside of Markdown, which is very often the case when I'm writing docs or notes for a course. So how do I lint code that is not inside of a .js file? If you run ESLint code right through HTML, it's going to give you an error and say like this ESLint, it doesn't understand HTML. So we need a plugin that's going to strip the JavaScript out of your script tags, lint it, and tell you what's wrong with it. Same goes for Markdown. So here we go. Let's take a look at how to use those two specific plugins here. I'm going to go into here and find the HTML one. Looks like the HTML is actually not in here. So I'm going to say ESLint HTML. Here we go, ESLint plugin HTML. And the way that it works is you open up your ESLint and you have a property called plugins. And that itself is an array. And you simply just pass the name of all of your plugins that you want. So I've already went ahead and done npm install ESLint-plugin-html-g. So I installed it globally on my system. And now anytime I have an ESLint file, I just simply say I have the HTML file. I give that a save. And now if I run my ESLint against an HTML file, it actually tells me, it doesn't trip up on any of my actual HTML, but it's going to tell me things like age is never reassigned, use constant sed, good. And unexpected alert, I shouldn't be using alert. Okay, maybe I should have console.log age or taken that out entirely because it was for debugging reasons. Now I fixed both of those, no errors in that one. Let's do the same for Markdown. I'm going to go back to this list here. I'm going to go to the Markdown linting for JavaScript in Markdown. How do you install it? npm install ESLint plugin Markdown. So again, I'm going to do that globally just because I want it available on all of my projects. ESLint plugin Markdown. Finish installing after about a minute or so. And then how does it work? Well, it looks like you simply just add Markdown to your plugins array here. And it looks like I would be able to say ESLint. I could say something like star.md, and that would give me all of my Markdown files. And here we go, unexpected var. Simply say const. X is defined but never used. So I do something like console.log x. So I make sure that I actually use it. Now rerun it. And we're off and running. By the way, this is a glob pattern. If you've ever used maybe like gulp matching or any other sort of matching, you can pass it a list of star.something. You can also pass it the --ext. If you want to know all of the options for ESLint, simply just type ESLint-help, and it will give you a list of all of the possible ways where you can search for different kinds of extensions and pass it a specific ESLint file. So those are plugins. Take a look through it and see which plugins probably work best with your workflow. But those are the two that you probably will run into at some point, and they're very helpful to use. One little thing I should mention that is currently at the time of recording, you cannot use --fix on HTML or Markdown files. --fix only works on pure.js files. Hopefully that will get fixed soon, but don't spend any time trying to get it to work because it's not possible.